Dallas, Texas is a typical track. It is 1/4 mile long.
Is a typical track.
It is 1/4 mile long with timing lights at each end, and the cars do just one thing: accelerate for that short distance. It all started back before World War II, when youngsters lined up at stoplights to out-drag each other. They eventually organized safe, well-run drag racing meets. And today, uncounted millions of spectators line hundreds of drag strips to cheer the 500,000 cars which drag it out in competition each year. Two big sanctioning associations, American Hot Rod and National Hot Rod, make the rules and tightly supervise the meets. Starts are made by the winking lights of the Christmas tree, which blinks from red to green. The race is simple. You run the 1/4 mile flat out. The rules and classes are more complicated than chess. Cars are segmented into almost endless numbers of divisions. The big money usually goes to the professionals, who invest thousands in their weird-looking AA fuelers which burn nitromethane and use every known mechanical device to gain precious split seconds down the course. At the big national meets like this one, more than 700 cars compete. These cryptic markings indicate the class of car, determined by fuel used, power, weight, kind of modifications, and such diverse elements as supercharging. Even the amateurs lavish enormous amounts of time and money on these automotive marvels. The love of a drag racer for his wheels surpasses the madness exhibited in any other form of sport. Every entrant gets at least one shot against the clocks. There's a total of $192,000 at stake in this one meet. Tells a story. Electronic equipment flashes the green for go, then records the elapsed time, called ET by the racers, and the top speed attained at the end of the run. The stocks and super stocks are big crowd pleasers. The fans identify totally with these modified production machines. But the funny cars are kings at the nation's drag strips today. They have thin fiberglass bodies which weigh 150 pounds or less and copy the appearance of stock cars. Under the skin, they have the machinery of the thundering fuel dragsters capable of reaching well over 200 miles an hour in the 1/4 mile. They, too, burn oxygen-bearing nitromethane fuel like the Big Brother rail jobs, and their drivers must wear asbestos flame suits in case of fiery crashes. Ground-shaking power thrills the fans at the start. Top speeds for funny cars have soared past 200 miles an hour. But power like this can be lethal with loss of control. While no form of racing is totally safe, the safety record of drag racing is better than almost any other competitive sport. Thousands of super speed racing miles are logged each year with few injuries and almost no fatalities. These big rail jobs also set the fans to roaring. Some engines put out as much as 1,500 thundering horsepower. In this sport, victory is measured in thousandths of a second. There's a new race every minute. Drivers race against the heartless clock, not against each other. And as each man in a class is beaten or eliminated, he goes home. The winner goes on to fight for the treasured Top Eliminator title. Low tire pressure gives better bite coming off the starting line. It's expensive, but so is everything else about this game. Auto engineers once thought that 200 miles an hour from a standing start within a quarter mile was physically impossible. But their words were drowned long ago by the roar of engines. Drag racing, although still young, is clearly a major sport in this wildest world.
R&R Video